This human form where I was born, I now repent. Pixies, Caribou. Selected readings from Hyena, for Roddy. Wild talents. There is no man who is without the hyena element in his composition, and there is no hyena that is not at least rudimentarily human. Charles Hoy Ford. On the day of your death, I became a striped hyena. Hysteria's lunk technician, cursorial man-eater witch's mount I ran, filiform punk with my mane of stale thistles, over Primrose Hill across Blackheath to gnaw the shin bones of monuments, dragging my afflicted eye through the cagey manners of Frasers and Richardsons, each lesser cray. London's twitchy slang bloomed under me. I was not afraid. Animal abandoned to its instincts, slouching down the twisting Vennel's steps to lick the yeast of my misdeeds. I tore your bleakest manor into strips, left pennants of its dark meat snagged on the late Victorian railings. In cemeteries I scorned inscriptions, wiped my hazy scent all over. I was the fur atlas of my loss, and the yellow grass grew sharp where it rubbed on me. Your heart's varmint, darling of the solvent park, weaving the obstinate dusk into silent film. Starry cuss, I did not sleep but lay, panting on a raft of trash, the serial bedwetter's flammable mattress, Saturday magazines still in their cellophane empire mine. My hackles in the full flag of this failed state flea bit. The day after your death, when they found me, hoax wraith white up the road's wide middle, I think I was running, I think I'd been dreaming. Or I was the starkest hound of my spirit, gargoyle against this human bruise. Sibua. Is my heritage to me like a hyena's lair? Go assemble all the wild beasts, bring them to devour. Jeremiah 12:9. Thus, circumstances compelled me to tell you, you know jack shit about hyenas, dear. This, for instance. Hyena is not an animal but an edge. Where grief has its house, her wetted territories sing. The opposite of pleasure is not pain. Hyena does not dig the dead from their graves, but where bodies meet the sun halfway, she is the war's mute treasurer. She has carried away our loss in moist parcels with an extremity of tenderness. Draw around a sleeping dog with chalk. Turn away and count to 10, hyena will rise. Patroness of feral misgivings. Her several habitats are as follows: Lebanon, Versailles, the Falls Road, Honor Oak after a storm. That which you call her pelt, her overalls. That which you call her mane, her crown. Twopenny crones prefer the sleek indifference of felines. Hyena is her own raving spectrum, mascot of ruder perversions. It is a militant witch indeed who rides the long night into Rorschach, nose buried in her sweating neck. In the mid-1970s, radical lesbian separatists hoisted her face like a flag over pool halls and dive bars. In the late 1990s, her loping form was sighted in a comet's spitting tail. It is said that if you see a hyena in your dreams, you will die a violent death. This is true. However, hyena is not harbinger but prophet. Some people simply will not be told. In Guadalupe, her image appeared within a black mission fig, and similar visions have been reported in the South Hebron Hills near Susia. To find the image of hyena in a piece of fruit is to be bought not luck but fortitude. Within the troubled ecologies of loss, hyena is the undisputed mater lacrimarum, or third mother. Her signature maneuver is the planchette, sharp silhouetted corsair crossing any bucking sea. The night revolves around her, and didn't I tell you that all hyenas are female, that is, all hyenas are pirates. Hyena, our funerary renegade, is a poltergeist in a hair shirt. Where taxonomists say the hyena is closer to the cat than the dog, it is our stated position that hyena is closer to a baby grand piano, to an Acme safe in free fall, to a typewriter thrown from a hotel window, and dearest, hyena is nearly extinct. To become a hyena is to live without captains or champions, to tarry packless in dangerous places, sectarian wreck grounds, hospital corridors. Hyenas love well, but not often. There's a fine line between woo and woe, what you do to impress you, a million pitchy costumes. Hyenas are prized for the aphrodisiac qualities of their hindsight. Men have been grinding their bones to powder for centuries, poor fools. Hyena's power is not in her marrow, but in the near miraculous knack of her cherishing. She has been known to sit vigil for 800 years. Hyenas have no proverbs, only poetry. That which you cruelly describe as howling is, in point of fact, the end of a song you persist in mishearing. Blatant wassail, karaoke, how sorrow is ground like a coarse blue lens. Intrepid living alone. All houses have their sanctums and their patches of quicksand. Dearie, I have lingered by a bowl of mucky plums, or slid to my knees in a feeble Edwardian light between the green front door and the telephone table. There are afternoons when maybe something shakes us to our loathe or doting centre love's fondant shock, or baby boy, to think of you is to be totally totaled Enfield squared. From the upstairs window I peek between trees to the pub where I saw you pursue your renegade vertigos night after night. Oh, dreary Dickensian circumstance to live like that, with your bacon so wan it lets through the light. To get here, walk a circuitous route, pass Breaker's Yards, the Fold of Christ, the old lag tending his obstinate plot. Traverse it alone, and at night, when a cat is a gossamer paradox, solicitous then hissing by the bridge. All houses have their black spots. Sweetie, when you died, I smashed every stick of purple amethyst in the place, then snorted the powder, maybe nothing but tired. Now I avoid the mantelpiece. The fridge is rarely an ally anyway. Come visit me under a forger's moon. Bring cassis. This tonic is all Tabasco. It's the only kind they peddle here, but candied peel and panettone still obtained with bribes. It's not so bad. I like the night music. Millwall fans and foxes. A long duet of indeterminate savagery. A large dog with a large heart is with me, boss-eyed patron of unsuccess. I will need no novenas. Come, drink my cordials and vinegars. Listen to the killer hiding in the loft. He has removed his shoes. Oh, all houses pine for that tender guest who cannot come, but if they did, would drink their soup from the green star bowl, artfully avoiding the hairline crack, who could ripen fruit in their fist while you wait, and oh wobbles, oh horrors, oh belly full of bees. The mirrors are coy and annoying tonight. Come lift their veils and kiss them, please. The striped hyena's laugh. You're wrong, of course. It does exist. Hyena deals in secrets, not in spectacles. Won't show it to just anyone. You do not know what laughter is. The dream of a forest reduced to fidgets and to fragrance, a long, giddy falsetto stunt, the gimme motto of her colleagues. No. Hyena's laugh is a fisher of limits, will twist her honeyed energies toward the keenest edge, the feculent mouth ploughed up. You mistake the geckering of telemarketers, all those toothy musketeers, for laughter. What you call laughter is the frictionless pigeon of amateurs. It is ordered online and it ships worldwide in sealed air, baggy, stagnant and extrovert. Hyena's laugh is the night condensed inside a hard blue marble. Yours is maverick toad work, a minister of state smarming in a headlock. It is a trick's stomach, the gimmicked throat. Hyena laughs but rarely. Her laughter is not summoned, it is swift and mute as vengeance never conjured up by pratfall, cocktail, pungent jungle bud, by ridicule or tickle. Her laughter is nocturnal, skunk bulk gliding through underground cities toting its prole melody. Hyena's laugh is not the rubberized whoopee of expelled air. It is a sudden glitch in her sloping form as she dips beneath the yardarm. It is often silent, a kind of presto, a kind of splayed cadabra. In its sudden flux she has been known to turn textile, become a rush mat flattened out for welcome. It has its citric hiss, its cynic frailty, dark adjuncts, but most of all it is a kind of brackish hymn sung under the breath. No, it is not a chorus for skeletons and predators. It does not belong to your world of crocs and spoils, the tottering sucker of cities, Hearts Council funding. It is not a meat prescription, a kind of gargoyle propaganda. It is a subtle electricity, and you are its object. Like history, its origin is asking. Hyena will never laugh for you, will let out her luscious amen to the wind alone. You do not know what laughter is. Hysterical triage, the gremlin usury of femi blondes, snob music, licking a drink. Oh no. A laugh is a windfall of wild peaches, a wayward nature tuned toward mercy. Hyena builds a bonny. From feuds and stalemates, all the fair weather democracies of the heart. And when I say heart, I mean only the tetchy pulse of the climate. I mean only our survival, a miracle of little distinction. Hyena watched her husband's meat defrost for hours, until it became a caraval, pink and awash on its own melt tide. To be a hyena, an eruption in the level flesh, the cavities and silhouettes beneath your observable world. Hyena was hungry. Keen is a word that holds something desperate and suggestive about language, the shrinking missionary tedium of cities, around which walk the indigent ghosts of all her doomed teachers. There is nobody left now. Asked where she was when she heard the news, she can't recall. She was going through the bins round the back of Marks and Spencer's, or being called a communist cock-wrecker on the internet. She was home, with the priests winding themselves up like racist cabbies, and little girls gullible and luminous making her name into a skipping rhyme. Who knows or cares? It's all blah blah, kiff kiff now, in it. It's the other one she thinks of in the night, the skinty whir of his voice as he fraggled about at the front of the picket, dysfunctional prefect school bully blazer open to the wheezing wet. It was summer. Hyena rolled up her human sleeves, and he saw her and he knew her for a velvet leper like himself. What makes some of us hide in plain sight, while others commit to grievous loping through the static parks? Can anyone free the hyena in themselves and live? To be a hair stickler, to sculpt your scarce weight into battlements, to be an armoured dog. Not carnivore, but scavenger. Her vegan teeth grew sharp on licorice root. Mentors, plangent and sodden, clever dicks who lead by their blighted examples. Hyena builds a bonny. Tired of her own tweedy scent, tired of her body, a dull wool sleeve trailing in a library. Pile up the practical chairs, the books, the chronically toxic copying toner. Injunctions, edicts, sound advice, everything must burn. In the world outside, men are fretting mutton, buying their council houses, paying into their pension pots. Hyena doesn't care. To be convulsive and juvenile, to make of life one grimy boast. There is no one left to imitate. Tin soldiers with eyes like shit heirlooms. There are no mistakes to learn from now. Cipher of sleek foreboding. Hyena on her hind legs in a green silk skirt and paratrooper boots. Flashes a grin to camera. Silently mugging like Harpo fucking Marx. Hyena in her human form attends a funeral. There was, of course, his mimsy girl, apt witch with her spread of gossamer divinings. Not me. Or again the brilliant friend, her dear face caught like a wasp in a cobweb. Boys with staunch lusts mizzled into anecdote. Eminent dressers, all eyes drawn into the orbit of their wardrobes. There were smugglers of honey, doomed ones lost in the errand of their jeopardy. I was not afraid. Beneath their clothes, their pink like links of sausage, look away, look again. In the albanizing light before the storm, I'm there, smelling of creosote and spent pleasure, tawny sardonicus, writhing in the grim heat of my rictus jeans. I am always there, jaw-jacked and bleakly glitching, a baddie's cackle, the zip on a vampire's dress drawn down at singing speed. My laugh, my lips ripped back to their sateen lining. This deviant scream. Wind change artist, neither cat nor dog, but oh, I've hung his name from my mouth in reddish shreds, this tongue a flag I've flown from mildewed ramparts. Sweet girls he had, who filed their teeth and took their meds, and me, convulsing and whooping without joy. Look again, look away, look again. I've turned my face to the wall. And are you? Happy? Don't kid. Perfunctory arpeggio, your smile, and a stair rod missing from the critical step. This forever? Oh no. I suppose it depends if God's in it somewhere. God, frothing up the milk of our missteps. God, bringing old failures to a cautionary boil. God as a pedant mixologist, adding iron filings to the criminal zing of an icy mojito. But without God, what? You, in Hawaiian shirt and unlikely purple crocs, sauntering round some crummy fucking stud farm of the soul, sounding off like Yoda. Bitch, please, you be bored to pleat. So then, is it nothing at all? So tired I can't even shudder to think. It's raining forks, each one lands like a minor worry in the fretting breast. Sausage stink, lanced cataracts of yucky egg. I'm not taking pills, and the chips in this formica table are crawling. Earlier, a ghost pushed open the heavy door. I looked up sharp, but it wasn't you. Some roomy chancer trailing his padlock chains like vines, such an obvious move. Earlier still, the whole city looming, made mutable by rain, commuters with dumpling faces coming apart in broth, thought of you. Etch-a-sketch doodle, half undid. And Jesus, some rude boy with his chromy jaw bent on cussing. Women waxing Latin verbs in self-important monotone. Don't they know I am trying to... To what? You said, Hawaii-skied me, itchy, once. I was mistaken for your daughter, by the bent antenna of my smile, once. And what's that mean, now? The apple bobbed, the barrel scraped, everything will know of joy. Oh, be happy, then. Strut through your greatest hits, like a dancer on Soul Train. I'll partner you once and for all time, and each time see you rise like a thrush, regally named. Last one. La Jenna di Londra. That red-eyed hyena padding dust on a trail has a conscience that swings between 0 and 0. Roddy. But perhaps you are mistaken. This meat, inscrutable ruby salvo, is for you. For all things trounced and then devoured, the high wires stretched from mayhem to amends, the bluesy prowl between whiskey promise, smouldering ploy, the gonzo ballads of your friends, La Dolce Mort, such sultry treatment from a reckless girl, how tenement treacle's quicksand sought, but she preferred those jesting boys to the roomy diamonds you had bought. For every gaff and every chance, for every straying article of fate, for skipping needles, quibbled luck, the bruising taste of Scotch-won pork, for every Burrock marinade that did you wrong, this meat, as for you. There's sympathetic magic in a smacked lip. The saints may list their miracles, the lilies wilt, the truculent young forget. But Hyena is here, in her fatalist's mane, her coif of thorns, and bringing offals red and soft and wet enough to cleanse, be sated, sit, as if never a grim shilling bent in the slot, or the Brazian ablutions of suicide, no craquelure of night or mine, no stinging shot of glyceride, when all you need's the inky sluice of cassis or callure, no mirthless slur, no lank malarial hour of woe, and you, standing matador before the night bus, sow your brassy hymns in the AM's meanest acre. Hyena is here, will race her russet flux to dust, bring scent of musky meadow gas, a fitful eccentricity of sky. This meat sees you pirouette and dive, some kelpie morning with the wind in your teeth, and far from here, no book of going forth by day, and far from here to sway upon some flinty scarp, tarrying and vandal. This awful city has no natives, numbing strangeness suck, but this I caught in open fields. I carried it home for you, dear heart. Eat, dear heart, be resolute and wild.